Greetings, planty people, and welcome back to my jungle. So today's video is all about plants that quite simply didn't make it through the year. And this is just kind of to show you, even though I'm a seasoned plant keeper, I still make mistakes and things happen. So I've got a lovely list here of all the plants that didn't make it. Let me know what plants you miss in the comments so we can kind of feel a little bit better about it together. Also ignore the missing fingernail. It's probably like in a bag of soil somewhere. I'll find it in like a year or so. And if you're new here, hello, my name is Jules and I have way too many plants. So let's get started. So I'm going to shuffle this way because I'll be putting the photos here. So the first one was really sad. Well, these are all going to be really sad, but this one was especially sad because it was a propagation. I had just started to get it to root and it dried out. Do you remember that heat wave we had in summer? She's responsible. So this is an Epipremnum pinnatum marble. These randomly just kind of like came into the market and were like, doosh, they were just everywhere. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a unique looking Epipremnum. I'm a big fan of Epipremnum. That's really hard to say, Epipremnum. And I just like them because they're all different and they're all just really easy to look after. It's similar to the normal elbow one, which I have growing up there somewhere in the jungle. But instead of it being a cream variegation, it's just dark white and it's got more of a speckle to it. And I got this cutting off Etsy. I can't remember who the seller was. I think it was Slow Plants. I can't remember off the top of my head. But this is one of those ones that I'm definitely going to try and get another cutting and just keep a beady little eye on it because I was so disappointed because it came rootless. I got it to root and then it died. So that's nice. But yeah, I just saw that they randomly became really popular and I was like, wow, haven't seen one of those before. And then I haven't really heard much about them in a while actually. Let me know if you've heard of it. It's more of an uncommon Epipremnum, but I'm really into uncommon stuff that isn't too expensive. I believe it wasn't too much money actually. I think the cutting was around like £6 without postage. But I'm definitely on the hunt for another one. So the lesson I learned from this is it's easy to kill an easy plant. It happens to the best of us. Okay, next one. I think I did a repotting video on this one, and that is the Scindapsus treubii Moonlight. And I had wanted this plant for quite a long time, and I managed to get hold of it when I went to, where did I go? Wales. I went to, what was it called? The shop Botanic Babe. It was in Llandudno, and it's a fabulous shop. If you ever go to Wales, go to there. I think I also picked up a Begonia mojito and a marble pink princess. That one died as well, but I don't have a picture of it. But yeah, I've heard these guys are just really just hard work, and yes, it was. I did buy a cutting of this years ago. Did not root, it just rotted immediately. I didn't even have time to kind of check up on it. It was just slop in the glass jar and it was gross actually. I got it on my fingers. But this one I repotted and it had one of those death cages in the middle where all the roots were just kind of like in the middle, and I had to basically do surgery on it. It was a plastic one, so I had to really like snip it up and it was hard work, I'll tell you that. And then it was fine for a bit in its new chunky soil and then it just disintegrated. So what I've learned from that one is that it's very tricky to look after for some reason. Now I know this might not be experience for everyone, but it was for me and a few people I know. So, but it's just gorgeous. Like I've said a million times, I'm really into silver plants because it adds a bit of depth to my collection because most of mine are just like a normal standard green. And it's just beautiful. And it looks completely different to normal Scindapsus, like the Pictus, the Exotica, completely different. And I was just like, wow. I'd seen it on Pinterest and I'd fallen in love. Maybe I'll give it another chance in the future, but I can't guarantee it. It's not one of those ones that I've put on my list. But if I see it in person and it looks healthy, maybe. And if it's at a reasonable price. Okay, so next one. I did actually mention this in my wish list video, and that is the Begonia amphioxus. Still don't know how to pronounce it. Ding! Now this alien looking plant was so gorgeous. I told the story there that I killed it like twice, managed to resurge it. It was doing fine, and then it just dropped all its leaves in the heat wave. This is a common theme, by the way, you'll notice. because this room is in the attic, it gets pretty hot pretty quick. Now, one of you did comment that it doesn't necessarily need like full humidity, so I guess I'll keep that in mind. Thank you for letting me know. Luckily, I don't have an issue with humidity in this room. It stays about 60, 70. I do get ventilation every so often, get a through draft, so it's not like stale, but never really had an issue with humidity. I don't have any cabinets or anything. One, because I don't have the room. Two, don't need to. I would like one in the future though. But yeah, I really like weird looking plants. You don't get many plants with red spots. It's just so cool and it's so petite. And I think I did actually manage to get mine to have little flowers, little cute white flowers. So that was a nice little surprise. Luckily these ones aren't too expensive. They're just a bit awkward to find sometimes. This is one, if I see it in a shop, I will get one. I don't care about the price. They're not usually too expensive, but I will be getting one. Okay, so next one's not going to be a surprise. It's not going to be a surprise, and that's the Calathea what? Oh my god, warscewiczii. I probably should have rehearsed saying that. Now, I only have, let me think, one Calathea left. One. And that is the Calathea network, and the only reason why I think that one is still okay, it's over there in the corner, is because it's got those thicker, waxier leaves, whereas the warscewiczii, said it correctly this time, is thin and velvety. And if you know anything about Calathea or velvety plants, spider mite magnet, instantly, for no reason. So I did actually manage to get rid of the spider mites a few times, and they just kept coming back, so I had to keep trimming a leaf off. And then it was fine. Spider mites, give it a haircut. I did trim it back a lot to see if it would come back. Left it in my little grow box down there, my houseplant hospital. Didn't survive, but that's okay. I'm surprised it lived that long anyway. I think I got it to live for like 3 or 4 years, and that's impressive. I don't think I will be getting another one in the future, unless I see like a little baby one and I'm feeling it. I'll never say never with that one, because that's one of the few Calathea that I actually really like. The ornata, it's okay. I'm just a bit bored of it. I quite like the Zebrina, but I've had that twice and it was nightmare. Okay, so next one. I can't actually remember the name because it begins with an X, but it's also known as the Mickey Mouse plant. This one. I'm not sure if it's related to the Alocasia family. Some people label it as an Alocasia, but I'm not quite sure, so let me know if you know. But this one, I did actually manage to get it to live for a few months, but because it acted and grew like an Alocasia, I think I overwatered it a little bit too much. And that's the lesson I've learned with Alocasia. They like a lot less water than you think they do, because they have a rhizome, and that's where they store all their moisture. And if that rots, it's a goner. And I think I got this one from Plants for All Seasons. I didn't do any research on it. I think that was another one of my mistakes. So maybe do some research before you get a plant you don't know about. I did manage to get it to grow a few leaves, which was a nice little surprise, but yeah, it didn't live long. When it started to show signs of rot, I did do a little bit of surgery on it. It perked up a little bit, and then it gave up. And that's okay. It's sad, but it happens. Will I be getting another one? I probably won't order one. If I see it in person, which probably won't happen, they're a little bit of a tricky one to find, maybe I'll get one. They are really cool. And now that I've learnt from my mistakes, maybe. We will see. We will see. Next one made me especially sad. If you know me, I've been trying to get more Anthurium, and the one that I've been after for quite a while now is the Anthurium forgetii. Now, a while ago, when I did a swap with Sophie, Build Your Jungle, they sent me a little baby one in a cup, and I was too scared to do anything, so I just kind of left it and put it in a bright space. And it was fine for a bit, but Sophie had issues with it as well. Named it the problem child, which I found quite funny. But yeah, that one melted, and I was like, right, we'll see. And then I bought a little baby, which is the photo here, and that one just melted as well. What the hell? I've never had an issue with Anthurium before, but that one I just don't get on with. But I've been after that one for so many years. I just like that it doesn't have lobes, it's just round. It's round. I also like the sound of its name, forgetii. It's a nice word at the end of the day. It looks a bit like a crystallinum, the normal one, just completely round. And if I do see one in person and it's not too expensive, I will be getting one. That's one of those ones I will be getting. But I haven't actually seen one in person. I don't know why. I go to a lot of houseplant shops, so I'm going to manifest that I come across one, and as soon as I get one, you'll be the first to know, don't you worry. Let me know what your experience is with the forgetii. I might just have a bit of a curse, like the string of pearls curse. Okay, so the next plant, well, plants, is a category, and it won't be a surprise. Alocasia. Now, I've discovered that the reason why I don't necessarily get on with the Alocasia is because I can have a tendency to overwater. So I currently have loads of little baby corms, luckily. Past me from a year ago just doesn't get on with them. So hopefully that's changed. So the first one, if you watch my videos, if you know me, of course, is the Alocasia friedek, which I also call the fried egg. Now this one I have tried thrice. Oh, sorry, my finger is really throwing me off. I've tried thrice, and each different methods. First one I left in soil. It was fine for a bit, and then it rotted. My mistake. Second one, also soil. I tried to transfer it into semi-hydro, and I think it went into shock, disintegrated. Then Lottie sent me one in like moss and semi-hydro, and that did great for a long time, you know. I was like, is this it? Have I unlocked it? And then it suddenly just, we all kill plants. It's part of the journey. And I have a 3 strikes and you're out rule, but this one, this is the exception. I will get it right. I will get it right. I luckily do have a little corm that I saved. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe because it's grown in semi-hydro and I'm going to keep it in semi-hydro when it gets bigger, it will be okay. I don't know, we'll find out. I'll keep you guys updated. I just love it. It's so pretty. It's just like, pow, green, and it's got those beautiful veins and it's velvety. Also, yeah, be careful with spider mites on that one. Luckily, I did manage to get spider mites off it when I got my predatory mites, but then it just died anyway. So that was nice. That was really nice. Next one, a lot of people have trouble with this one, and that's the silver dragon. Now, maybe because it was a baby and it was in soil, that's the reason why it didn't live. I managed to get it to live for quite a while, but this one I've tried a few times as well, and I think I might give up on this one. But I'm really into textured plants, and it's silver. I also do have some corms over there, like I've said a million times. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Even growing them just in moss or semi-hydro, they just don't like it. So please, for any of these, leave any tips. I'm not perfect, I'm still learning. I like learning. Share your little secrets, please. I get so jealous when I see people on Instagram and TikTok with their massive alocasias. I'm like, what am I, why? Who has cursed me? So will I get another one? Maybe. I'm not certain, but it's a big fat maybe, so we'll see. Okay, next alocasia. This one made me so sad because it was my favourite alocasia for the longest time. It probably still is. Ding! This was my pride and joy. I managed to keep this one going for about 2 years. And I think it even had a little bit of sport variegation at one point. And I loved this one so much because it doesn't look like any other alocasia. It's purple yet bronzy with a green shift, and it's glossy. And it's just wow. Just look at it. I feel like it gives me kind of Anthurium vibes because it's got the kind of 6-pack on it. But I think, because I got this one quite early into my plant learning adventure, I think that one definitely was the result of overwatering, because I'd been told to water it like once a week. That's wrong. That's definitely wrong, because I think that's the reason why I killed all my alocasias. So will I be getting another one? Hell yeah, I'm determined to get this one right as well. I do have some babies growing, so once they've grown bigger, I will put them in the background. I do have a few little gaps because I've been doing lots of chopping up and propagating. You know, you get the propagation bug and you're like, oh my God, I'm surrounded by cuttings in jars. I literally have 3 massive mason jars over there. And guys, have you seen the variegated version? Dude, it's pink variegation. Sold. But will I be buying a variegated one? Hell no, not until I master the normal version. And we are at the last one. And if you made it this far, thank you. I appreciate you. Now this one genuinely, it made me really sad. And I think it was probably the rarest plant I had, and that is the Philodendron Whipple Way. Now, I don't necessarily blame myself for this one. I blame myself enough. But this one, it was a tiny little baby tissue culture, and I'd never had one before. I literally just kept it in its little tiny pot, in a little bag under my grow light. It did fine for about a year, and then randomly, I don't think it actually had roots. I did check when I got it, and I think that was partially the reason why. I don't think it was strong enough to be in my company for me to look after it. But it's one of those plants that looks like, oh, it's so beautiful. It's like a strawberry milkshake. It's pink, it's white, it's cream. It's just beautiful, and it's got these tiny little minuscule mottle specks on it. Don't. Oh, I just realised my septum ring is up my nose. How did that happen? Will I be repurchasing this one? Probably not. I'm not going to lie to you. They aren't cheap. That little tiny baby was £20. If I see a cheaper cutting online, maybe. I might just have to wait for the price to come down on that one, because it's gorgeous. I was in love with it, but nah. Just wasn't meant to be at the time, and that's okay. Right. Don't know why I'm using a lip gloss as a microphone. That concludes my list so far. Now, I have killed plants in the past. Let me know if you want to hear more, so I can maybe help you out on how to avoid it. I'm going to put that down. Maybe to help you avoid my mistakes. Now, let me know what plants you've killed so we can kind of bond and feel better about it. I'll leave all my social medias down below. I'll see you in the next one. Hope you have a lovely day, whatever it is, wherever you are. Bye-bye.